Hi, everyone. My name is Beverly Allen. I'm a Tacoma-based attorney with 10 years of family law experience. And today I'd like to talk with you about what you should do if the other parent is not returning a child to your care. This video is being made as part of the Vibrant Communities How-To video series with the Pierce County Law Library. My views are my own and are not necessarily the views of the Pierce County Law Library or Pierce County or the Pierce County courts. So that said, here's what to do if the other parent isn't returning the child. First of all, there's a different track to take depending on whether or not you have a parenting plan. What is a parenting plan? A parenting plan is a document signed by a judge or a commissioner that sets out the rights and responsibilities of each parent with regard to the child or children. Now, other videos that we've done talk about how to get a parenting plan. That is something that you have to file a petition in order to establish, or it is also done as part of a divorce proceeding. So if you do not have a parenting plan, I highly recommend that you get a parenting plan. And the reason is because when you involve the authorities or law enforcement, unless there is a crime being committed or unless the child is in danger, is in some sort of an abuse or neglect posture with the other parent, you are not going to get assistance without having a parenting plan. In fact, if law enforcement responds, again, unless there's a crime happening, what they'll say is that you need to establish a parenting plan, that this is a civil matter. If you do have a parenting plan, you have many more options. So first, remind the other parent that there is a parenting plan. If they don't have a copy of it, provide them with a copy of it. The parenting plan is a court order, which means it's enforceable via contempt. So oftentimes, just having that reminder to the other parent that they could be held in contempt. There are even possible sanctions such as monetary sanctions or even up to and including jail time to secure compliance. That reminder may be enough for the other parent to become compliant with the parenting plan. Now, you still can pursue a contempt proceeding even after the other parent gives the child back, and maybe you should if the other parent is not willing to do make-up visitation to make up for whatever time you lost. But first, remind the other parent that there is a parenting plan, provide them a copy, see if that works. You can also involve law enforcement. Law enforcement does have the option of initiating an investigation or even charging for criminal custodial interference. However, those cases, they don't involve harm to someone else, so they're a lower priority. I can't speak for law enforcement per se, but even with a parenting plan, oftentimes what I've heard from clients is that law enforcement has told them, you need to go to court. This is a civil matter. You need to pursue contempt. So what is contempt? Well, first of all, contempt is a complicated process because it involves the potential for jail time. So it's not just filing a motion for contempt. You also have to personally serve that motion for contempt and personally served what's called an order to show cause for contempt on the other parent. Now, those forms are available at courts.wa.gov. Again, it's order to show cause for contempt. It's a motion for contempt as well. When the court issues the order to show cause, they will also issue an advisory to the other parent about how to seek out counsel through the public defender program. So contempt is one of those areas where the court can and will, if certain income requirements are met, appoint an attorney for the other parent. The other time that we see that is in dependency proceedings. But as far as contempt goes, because jail time is a possibility, the other parent facing contempt may qualify for a public defender. Generally speaking, if they are under 125% of the federal poverty guidelines or are receiving public assistance, they will get that attorney appointed for them. The attorney will then file a notice of appearance and either represent that parent in court or will try to negotiate something with you, the filing parent, the parent who is entitled to that time with the child, and maybe work out an agreement where the child is returned. If the contempt is not successful, then you may be able to get future action. You should also see if law enforcement is willing to take another report, is willing to open a custodial interference case, is willing to show up when you are trying to enforce your court order of contempt by way of standby. Those are all good options and good ideas. You may also, however, find yourself in a situation where you need a writ of habeas corpus. And a habeas corpus is a very complicated procedure. I will get into the specifics in a separate video, but you do need to check off the box first of getting an order of contempt first. Again, just the threat of a contempt action and the reality that that could saddle the person found in contempt with fees, civil penalties of $100 for the first time of contempt, as well as attorney fees if you do have an attorney. Those may be enough of an incentive to have that other parent comply with the court order and give you the child back. But if you don't have that result, you should involve law enforcement or at least make a report, and then you should consider going back to court to file a writ of habeas corpus. One other point, if a parent is found in contempt twice, those findings can become a basis for a major modification of a parenting plan. So that's another incentive to comply with the parenting plan, is the parent in contempt may find themselves deprived of parental time, may find themselves on the opposite end of a petition to modify and take away their time because they've been in contempt. So always follow court orders. If you have any questions about what to do about court orders, I highly suggest you call Tacoma Pro Bono, or you visit my website, tacomalegalcoach.com, or your local law library. The Pierce County Law Library does have packets that will help you with the process. Thank you very much for tuning in, and my name is Beverly Allen. My phone number is 253-778-6376.